everybody, this is Jody with American Stroke Foundation. I am a program coordinator at our Southeast and North Kansas City locations, and I am also an occupational therapist. And we are currently celebrating Occupational Therapy Month. So yay, happy Occupational Therapy Month to all you OTs out there. So today we are going to continue to talk about IADLs, instrumental activities of daily living. So I introduced these last week and we talked specifically about health management and maintenance. And we practiced some stretching and some diaphragmatic breathing just to practice those daily healthy habits. But today we are going to continue to stay in that IADL range, and we are going to work on meal prep. So when you're doing meal prep, that includes all the planning and sharing well-balanced, nutritious meals with your friends and family, and trying to make them healthy for yourself as well. It also includes the cleanup portion, don't forget that. So today, to practice that, we are going to make some no-bake energy bites. There are a lot of recipes out there for the no-bake energy bites. They're also known as protein balls, lots of different names for them. I found a really easy recipe with only 4 ingredients at healthyliv.com, and I will go ahead and post the instructions in the description of this video, but you can also find the instructions at healthyliv.com, or you can check out our Instagram page at American Stroke Foundation. So I love working with meal prep activities, only because they challenge so many different areas. I'm not an amazing cook, but you can work on so many things with your body and your brain. You can work on sequencing, memory, recall, visual scanning, hand strength, dexterity, weight bearing, endurance, so many things. So we have so many factors to work on, and it's important to keep all those in mind while you're working, while we're making our energy bites today. But it's also important to remember those things that we can do to modify the activity. So what can we do after we've had a stroke to make that activity easier for us, help make us successful? So we might have to do some setup, change the environment, or ask for help from our caregiver. So remember to keep all of those things in mind while we're making these. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm going to wash my hands and prepare the surface area. Okay, let's go. Okay, I've decluttered my surface area so it's easy to organize all my ingredients. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean it, and this is a chance to work on range of motion and weight bearing. So if I have my multi-surface cleaner, I'm going to take my affected hand and try to stabilize the bottom of it. I might bring that thumb back if I can, or if you just want to use it to stabilize like that, that works. Whatever you can do, and then just manipulate with my non-affected, or you could bring that affected up here, work on some hand strengthening. Okay, so once I have it squirted, then I'm going to go ahead, and this is where the weight bearing comes in. I'm going to take my washcloth. Your affected goes on the bottom, non-affected on top. We're first going to just do some big motions away from our body and then back towards our stomach. It helps to have one foot in front of the other, whatever feels good to you, to try to get that full range and make sure you have good balance. Okay, so I'm going back and forth. So you can also do some circular motions. So I'm going to do some big ones to the right. Good. This is just a good way to work, and then I'm going to go the other side. Oh, now I'm going to the left. Okay, so this is just a good way to work on range of motion in a functional way. So, okay, now that that's done, I'm going to go wash my hands and scan my kitchen for all the ingredients we need. Okay, so I have my hands washed, my ingredients gathered, and as I go through each ingredient that you need, I'm going to go ahead and line it up on the right side. This is just a really good strategy for people who have left neglect, but it also works for me to just keep me organized, and kind of just adds a good visual cue. So as I get to that ingredient in the recipe, I can just grab it and add it and then go to the next one. Just a strategy you can use if you'd like. So the first thing we need are rolled oats, and the recipe calls for 1 3/4 cup, but I'm going to just use a cup since it's just me and my husband, and I'm going to place that over here. And then it calls also for 3/4 cup of peanut butter, but I'm going to decrease that to 1/2 cup. And I like to use the crunchy peanut butter, but the smooth peanut butter probably works better with this recipe and mixing. What's great about this, you can kind of change the ratios as you like. If you like it more peanut buttery, or if you like more oats, you can kind of make it your own. Can't really mess it up. So then the next thing you need is honey, and 1/3 cup honey is what I'm going to use. Next, I'm using dark chocolate chips. You could also use semi-sweet chocolate chips, and it calls for 1/3 cup. My husband would probably use 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. So make it your own. I'm also going to add chia seeds just for more fiber and protein, about a tablespoon. And I haven't done this before, but I'm gonna try to add just a teaspoon of vanilla just to add that flavor in. So, okay, I have all my ingredients ready. Now I'm going to go ahead and start measuring and get them mixed together. Okay, I went ahead and measured all of my ingredients out and put them in their respective measuring cups in the same order. Now, I just kind of wanted to talk about some strategies you can use to make pouring some of the ingredients and getting them a little easier. Especially if you have old honey, it's hard to get it out of the bottle. I know we're working on strengthening, but to make it a little easier, you can pop it in the microwave for like 10 seconds. That's what I do every time, and it's a lot easier to get out. Also, when it comes to opening jars, if you have an affected arm or weakness, you can use one of these little grippy things. Lots of people use it up like this, but you can also use it on your countertop using one hand. So you just place the jar on top and then you can twist. This works really good on granite countertops, but I have more of a butcher block wooden countertop, so it's gonna move with it. So what you could do is you have the grippy for the jar and then place your affected hand also on it, so you're kind of stabilizing both the gripper and the jar. And then with your non-affected, you're gonna press down and then twist. So that kind of just helps you open it. Another strategy you could try, if you have a good countertop, you could use your stomach or your hip, place it like this. Probably better to do it both on non-affected. So then I can just use one arm to stabilize. Just make sure whatever you're using, it is not tilted anyway, so it doesn't tip over. So you could do that. Another way is there's also all kinds of jars out there now, so try storing your ingredients in an easy to open container. So like I have this one for my chocolate chips. I just push it and open it. So those are just some strategies while you're preparing your food. So now I'm going to go ahead and start putting all of my ingredients in my bowl to mix. I have mixed all of my ingredients. Another thing I noticed while I was mixing them, it might be difficult to use both hands if you have weakness in one. So most people, they will scoop it out. Like if you have something sticky like peanut butter or honey, you have to use a spoon to scoop it out of the measuring cup. Something else you could do, if I had my peanut butter in here, it's okay to put it on one of those sticky pads again, and I usually put a washcloth on top so that kind of just stabilizes it. I can put my affected arm over. It's okay if it's tipped because usually it's like a sticky ingredient and it won't fall out. And then I'm going to use my spoon, my non-affected, to scoop it up. So like that. As you mix all the ingredients, you can go ahead and keep it on the sticky pad if you're just using one hand, and it kind of helps to just kind of chop it and mix it around. And this is a very sticky ingredient and it can be hard to mix up. So if you're using make sure you're using good hand hygiene or use gloves if you want to. You can also use your hands to mix it up if you want to be a little messier. I usually just use a spoon, or I did get my hand mixer back here and try this as well. That works pretty well, but make sure you put it on a very low speed if you're going to do the hand mixer. So after I have this all mixed in together, okay, my hands are washed. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of mix it with my hands. Okay, after I have it all mixed together, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the freezer for about 30 minutes, just because it's kind of sticky right now and I want it to harden a little bit before I put it into the ball shape forms to make the bites. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I stored my mixture for about 25 minutes because that's as patient as I could be. And now I'm going to start making them into the bite sizes. A good portion size would be to use a tablespoon. And what you're going to do is grab some of the mixture in your hand, try to make it pretty compact. And then you're gonna fill up the tablespoon. Pack it down so you get a good ball shaped form. And then I'm gonna put it on my pan. There you go. And it helps to do this in a mini muffin tin, or you could probably use a regular size muffin tin as well. And you can really work on visual scanning at this point. Start on the left side and work your way over and fill it all up. And then once you have it all filled up, you can go ahead and put it in the fridge or the freezer for another 30-45 minutes to let them harden. And you can store them in here and just put saran wrap over it, or you could store them in an airtight container and kind of just layer it with wax paper so they don't stick together. If you make a mess, it's okay. You can just dab it up with one of the balls. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill it all up. All right, everybody, I got them out of the fridge, and the recipe I did made about a dozen, but the one in the description will probably make about 2 dozen. So, moment of truth. My husband is here. He just got off work and he's about to go golfing. So this is just a good snack to get some protein before that. All right, you gonna try one?
Okay.
Ready? Is it good or bad?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right. Okay, guys, enjoy the healthy snack. Bye.
Bye.